Welcome back to VL Speaks with You. This is episode 7. Earlier this month, episode 6, I took the time to pay homage to International Women's Day and National Women's Month and go a little bit deeper into how it all began and paid homage to Helen Keller. I hope that you've taken the time this month to honor the women in your life, and if you are one or a fledgling woman, then you take the time to really be grateful for the gifts that you're born with and the power that you have to create life and sustain life. Whether you have children or not, you still have the power to do it. So that's something to be grateful for. All right, this week, we're at the end of March. We're coming into the beginning of spring. So I thought this would be the perfect time to introduce another level of cleansing, physical cleansing. And a nice, easy way to ease into it is with our daily rituals. Everybody's getting geared up to let's join the gym or let's go back to the gym like we started in January and work out and get ready for the summer. The thing of it is that if you're doing things to take care of yourself all year round, it's not so much work come springtime going into the summer, and you're not pummeling yourself for the next 2 months so that you can look great in a bathing suit. Excuse me. I cannot do this without this throat coat tea. Yeah, because I think I'm having issues with allergies. Okay, so moving right along. In the first episode, I touched upon different tips, very basic, fundamental building blocks, and gave you a little bit of background on my studies and what I practiced and taught. And so I'm going to revisit some of those things. And the first thing that I'm going to come back to is Ayurveda. I mentioned it in passing because there was a lot packed in there in the first episode. But Ayurveda is a sister science to yoga, and it's just as old, over 5,000 years old. Ayurveda means the science of life. And one of the beautiful things about this system is that it encompasses everything. It encompasses lifestyle management, a healthy approach to managing your life, mentally, physically, nutritionally, psychologically, energetically. And it uses this system, it's an elemental system, it's based on the elements, much like traditional Chinese medicine. In some circles, they say that TCM is based on Ayurveda. But nonetheless, it is an elemental system, and it combines the different elements, and it creates and manifests in different ways. Each person has a different constitutional makeup. There are the norms, much like in Western physiology, like your ectomorphic, mesomorphic, endomorphic, very thin, medium frame, larger frame. I'm putting it in very simple terms. But it does look at the body that way and the world around us, which makes sense because we are a part of nature, even though we seem to think that we can dominate it, which is very silly. So I'm going to focus on the very physical parts of it and the nutritional aspects because it also incorporates the nutritional aspects and how you can use food to balance you. It's very, very focused on preventive care. There is a rejuvenative and healing component to this system, but the key is to stay in balance so that you don't have to go back and undo a bunch of damage, which happens because we are humans after all. But if we can avoid it, that would be great. So Ayurveda was one of the things that I talked about, and then I gave you some tips to incorporate in your daily life. So I'm going to start with waking and sleeping, their circadian rhythm. This is something that a lot of people jumped on in that first episode when I was speaking to them afterwards. And I think that it's worth revisiting because it helps us design our day, right? If you're not sleeping well and your waking and sleeping habits are all over the place, it's really hard to regulate anything in your body, right? let alone your thinking. Uh, so let's start with the Ayurvedic approach to the clock. And Ayurveda approaches life through the seasons of life, through the seasons of the year in nature, and then how we look at the day. Okay? So we're going to start with the block. The first block would be 10 to 2, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So during that time of the day, everything is already in full motion, right? Gastric juices are getting really revved up to have the largest meal of the day, hopefully, so that it can digest it properly. And we're in the throes of whatever we're doing in the middle of the day. Typically, that's what's happening during the day. Then, as we move into, let's say, 2 to 6, which is the next block of time, 2 to 6 p.m., as culture would have it, and some cultures they're still doing this, they have a siesta after their lunch. They want to give themselves time to digest the first part of the day and their meal. And some cultures, they will lie on their left side to aid the digestive process, right? That's happening. In the US, not so much, unless you can have a little bit more control of your day. And ideally, if you can do this, it's great for the body. The body is happy for it. But we have to deal with the regular work day. So typically after 5, going into 6, 6 to 10, which is typically when most people are winding down if they're not stuck in horrible traffic, but we're winding down from that 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's when we have a time to unload whatever's been happening through the day. And we're not digesting just our food, but we're also digesting experiences throughout the day. Okay, so hopefully we're not unloading on our loved ones, but we may talk about it. We may process it with them. Or you may journal about it and just write down whatever it is and leave it on this page there, unless you have to do a little bit more processing about it in some other way. But typically and hopefully that by 10, and nature does this so well on its own, all of the animals and nature itself knows shifts into a quieter time of the day. Typically by 10, we would like to see ourselves getting really, really relaxed and ready for sleep so that we can have a good night's sleep. At the very least, if you're not showering, rinsing your face off and your hands and maybe massaging your feet a little bit with some lovely lavender oil to get everything to relax, to get the nervous system to relax. Perhaps you introduce a relaxation practice. I'm going to get into more particulars as we go on down the road, but you can see I'm laying a foundation here for you. Regulating your sleeping and waking is very important, even from an Ayurvedic standpoint. Regulating these things, regulating those things and your bodily functions are very important factors in healthy living. So let's say you got to bed and relaxed by 10 and nodded out and you got whatever hours you sleep, because not everybody sleeps the same amount of hours and not everybody needs the same hours of sleep. Every constitutional type and combination of elements has a different set of requirements. And so let's say you wake up, right? You wake up, you feel refreshed. Excuse me. You feel ready to get up and do the things. Some of the things that I recommended, the tips in episode 1, thanking your body for doing its job and being grateful for being alive, gently waking yourself up, limbering your body, and then drinking your 8 to 16 ounces of clean water. If you can get it filtered or if you have an artisanal well, you are a wealthy person. Clean water is very important. In addition to that water, something that you can add, and this is a very strong suggestion, is hot water with lemon, honey, and salt. Equal taste of each. So, this is a nice cleansing drink to have in the morning. Okay? Another thing that you can do after you drink your water, before you have your hot water with lemon, honey, and salt, is scrape your tongue. It's amazing how much stuff gets gunked up on your tongue throughout the day. And it lets you know what's going on with your digestion, and you probably already know what's going on with your elimination. But the key here is to cleanse the tongue and then have this cleansing drink that's it's going to prime the liver and the gallbladder, getting rid of excess stuff in that area, your pancreas, your kidneys, the small intestines, just helping move things along. And then after you drink that, and it's equal to taste, so don't start with a lot of one. Start with a little of each, because not every lemon is as sour as the next. But after you've had that drink, then rinse your mouth out. Rinse the lemon juice off of your teeth. Very important. Found out the hard way. I was on a real kick with this when I first started doing it decades ago, and I started to get cavities in my late 20s. Didn't have any up until then. Sometimes we learn the hard way. So, rinse your mouth after that. And then do your journaling, right? Getting yourself organized for the day, seeing what recommends you. One thing that's wonderful about journaling, aside from writing your self-love notes, is that it also can help you keep yourself accountable. Okay, so I'm talking a lot about regulating your waking and sleeping, and then getting your body to do what it wants to do in the morning, which is clean itself out. And writing things down helps you keep yourself accountable. Like, I woke up at this time. I went to sleep at this time. This is what I ate throughout the day. This is what my digestion has been like, my elimination. Keeping a little track record of what's going on with you. So as you add all these different new little components, little building blocks, you can see how they're changing you. You're going through some kind of gentle and graceful transformation. That's why I'm giving them to you incrementally, because it's a lot to think about when you're adding new things into your lifestyle. And you want to do it gently and kindly, and also maintain a level of consistency, because consistency is key to transformation, and consistency requires discipline. They all work hand in hand. But if you fall off the wagon, it's okay. You get back on. Forgive yourself. Take it easy. Move forward. The important thing is that you get back on track. All right? And you may notice that if you tend to eat more processed foods, that your body may start to feel a little weird because you're starting to cleanse it, and that's okay. Just keep cleansing. Another two key things is your breath. Keep your breath moving, even, smooth, continuous, quiet breaths, diaphragmatic breathing, and also keep your body moving. Move your body. Find things that you like to do. Walking, hiking, bicycling. If you haven't been exercising for years, don't start running. Your body's not ready for it. Be kind to yourself. But keep the body moving. Just keep everything regulated. All right? So, the Ayurvedic clock, keep that in mind. 10 to 2, 2 to 6, 6 to 10. And inversely, it happens on the other side of the day too. And regulating your waking and sleeping. Using that clock to help you design your lifestyle. Your water in the morning. Your journaling. Your hot water with lemon, honey, and salt. And enjoy your day. Be grateful for the day. Remember, you can do that journaling in the morning and in the evening. Alrighty. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I think that's enough. Next month is Earth Month. I mean, it's Earth Month all the time, but it'll be fun to focus on that next month. And there will be another Ayurvedic segment next month as well. So please stay tuned. and have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining.